Here to discuss tried and true best practices from NADA 20 groups is Tim Gavin, consultant, dealership management with NADA 20 Group. Please give him a warm welcome.
Hi, my name is Tim Gavin. I'm a 20 group consultant for NADA. And there are 24 of us that work for NADA. And what we do is we do 20 groups. We also do in-dealership consulting. We also teach the NADA Academy, and we teach for different brands and manufacturers in different workshops. But let me explain what a 20 group is. A 20 group is 20 car dealers, same brand, same size, that don't compete. So a dealer in Iowa, a dealer in Florida, dealer in Houston, dealer in New Orleans, dealers from all over that come together 3 times a year, and we take all their financial data, their expenses, their gross profits, their F&I income, and we compare those. And a dealer that's really good on used cars, he may be giving advice to a dealer that's not so good on used cars, and vice versa. So it's 20 dealers that strengthen each other through processes and people and expense control and percentages. And it works. The average 20 group dealer is far more profitable than someone not participating in a 20 group. The cool thing about 20 groups, besides being more profitable, is that every meeting has an idea session. And every dealer is inspired to bring an idea, something that's worked in their dealership that's sold more cars or sold more service or has reduced an expense. So everybody brings an idea to the session, and then each dealer must pay an entry fee. Could be $50, could be $100, and every dealer puts $100 in, as an example. But if you don't have an idea, you have to pay double. So you pay $200 if you don't play. So everybody plays. And then the dealers decide who has the best idea. And that winner gets the pot. So I've seen pots of $1,000, $2,000, $3,200 is my record right now. Best idea took $3,200. So if every dealer from that 20 group has an idea, that's 20 dealers. They meet 3 times a year, so 20 times 3. We have approximately 400 dealers in our 20 groups. So that's how many ideas we get every year. And last year, 2016, all those ideas, all those winners came to me, and then I filtered out the best of the best of the best, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Now there's a disclaimer, the legal guys are in here, and not all of these ideas are legal in every state. We'll give you an idea, but it may or may not be legal for you. Here's our legal notice. Here's our agenda. We've taken these ideas and broken them into the 4 standard categories of new vehicle sales, used vehicle sales, service parts, and then we have one special one to go home. Okay, so that's what we're going to talk about today. We have about 18 ideas for you to take. So in our new car sales, the category is the power of our own customers. And we have 4, you'll see the topics here, which we'll deep dive in a minute. Serious Bird Dog for $500, the silent salesperson, promotions to your database, and do it digitally. But first, let's talk about what brings people into your store. If you look at the slide, you'll see that this was a survey done by Northwood University and Autotrader.com. And you'll see that prior experience, or repeat customers, as we call them in the business, accounted for 26% of the people coming into your showroom. So it's people you did business with, and they're coming back. And then referrals, our expression in the business, which are family and friends and coworkers that have been referred to you that come in, that accounts for 22% of your business, of your showroom traffic. So if you've been in the business more than a month, you've heard repeat and referrals. And this survey shows the same results. Half your business comes from repeats and referrals. It's not surprising. The third category, internet, that's new. Plenty of people out there that will help you with your internet to help drive people looking at your cars or your inventory online come into your store. And then you'll see TV, newspaper, radio, outdoor, direct marketing. That's fallen off. 15, 20 years ago, everything was TV and newspaper. Today, it's internet, it's digital, and that's not surprising. But for this category, new car sales, we're going to work on repeats and referrals. So here's our first idea. Again, theme is power of your own customers. The idea is called the Serious Bird Dog of $500. Now, if you don't know the term bird dog means that you're paying someone to send somebody in. So if your uncle sends his neighbor in to buy a car, we're going to pay the uncle a bird dog. It's called a bird dog because in hunting, bird dogs go out and they flush the market, and the birds come out of the fields and out of the crops, and they fly up in the air, and then the hunters go after them. So a bird dog flushes out a customer. It's a reward. Most dealerships in the country pay a bird dog of about $50. So if you're going to pay a bird dog of $500, it's going to wake people up. It's going to make a difference. Now, this dealer in South Carolina took over a dealership that was failing, and he eliminated all the advertising. Newspaper, TV, got rid of it all. And he just went with the bird dog. $500 bird dog. And you'll see on our slide, this is how he promotes it. When the people take delivery of their car in the final paperwork process, the salespeople explain the program. Send in your neighbor, send in your cousin, send in Uncle Joe, and we'll pay you $500. Pretty cool. When the customer comes in to negotiate the car and the salesperson's writing up the deal, they'll ask them, did anybody send you in? Because if they sent you in, they get $500 because we pay a $500 bird dog. You'll see also that at time of service delivery, when you're picking up your car from service, the service advisor or the cashier will remind you about the program. Don't forget, send somebody in, it's $500. And everybody's singing the same song, $500 to send them in. It's also point of sale material around the dealership, point of showroom, it's all there, $500 point of sale. And of course, it's on Facebook, right? Now the last bullet point shows you the $200 service advisor bird dog. Often, service advisors are a point of contact for a possible customer. Customer comes in to get a repair done. Repairs are way too much money. So the service advisor sends them to your showroom for them to buy a car. Most stores, they get nothing. And the attitude sometimes is, they work here. They should be sending a customer to the showroom. But if you're a service advisor and your commission is 10% of the bill, and the bill's $1,500, $2,000, what is your motivation to send them into the showroom versus getting the car repaired and getting the commission? So a $200 bird dog for a service advisor wakes them up. Wakes them up well. Wakes them up with money. And in fact, a service advisor that does this 2 or 3 cars a week, that's a great second job. $600, $800, $1,000 for the week just by sending their customers into the showroom. It works. And it works well. Okay, again, power of our own customers. This is called the silent salesperson. This dealer in Georgia, puts a professionally done flyer on the dash of every service customer for when they pick up their car. It's not just a cheap Xerox copy or mimeograph copy if you're that old. It's a professional flyer with some kind of special for that dealership. It's well done, and it's on the dash, so the customer picks up the car. It's the first thing they see when they turn on the car. Right? They also have a quarter-page banner ad they put on every invoice and check that goes out of the store. Think about how many pieces of mail go out of your dealership every month. Parts or wholesale customers sending them an invoice, staple on the flyer. Vendors, suppliers sending out a check, staple the flyer. Service customers picking up their car, staple the flyer. Parts retail customers picking up a part on the invoice, they staple the flyer. And they staple it with campaigns. So we buy used cars, right? If you're in one of our 20 groups, you know that through our used car studies, which we do every year with our 20 groups, that the most profitable used car for a dealer is one he buys off the street. You know the history, you know the customer. Usually you're buying it cheaper than at an auction. So you want to buy more cars off the street. And here's the source for getting those cars. Simple flyer. Black Friday sale, something going on. Santa specials, winter tire sales, it's snow season. Wherever you are, there's a reason for people to come in to buy cars. And you promote them with a silent salesperson. It costs a penny a page. Very affordable. And again, it's your own customers you're selling to. Okay, third one. The power of your own customers again. Promoting your database. If your dealership has a CRM and a DMS, and you have between 20 and 200,000 customers in your database, are you using that to your advantage? There are many vendors that will scrub your database monthly, yearly, quarterly to make sure that the emails are correct. They ping the email to make sure that it's valid. They'll check the phone numbers to make sure they're valid, make sure the addresses match up. Well, that database is powerful information for you. You should be using your database, whether it's email or calling or mailing, to inform your customers what's happening in your store. Community events, sales, specials, new arrivals, new models. And you can qualify who you're going after. If you have a new F-150 truck coming in, you can send notices to all the people with 3 or 4-year-old pickup trucks. New model coming in, qualify who you want. Or better yet, refine it even more. Take everyone in your database that has 7% loan or higher and send a blip saying we've got an interest sale. We want to take your 8% and turn it to 4%. Right? Pick who you want, qualify the lead, bring them in. Right? It's your market, it's your customers, powerful tool. Okay? This dealer in Illinois, believes in increasing his database by all makes and models in the family. So his service advisors, his receptionists, his salespeople are trained to ask what other cars are in the family. Even if they're not his brand, he wants that database. Right? So we'll ask you, what other cars are in the family? And the customer hopefully will tell us, we've got a Ford. And they'll ask what year. They'll ask the customer, brother, sister, uncle, child, who owns it? What's their cell phone number? What's their email address? And collect that data. If the customer pushes back, our line is, we will include them in our database for any service department specials. So write that one down. Right? We include them in our database for service specials. If we're having a sale on tires, it doesn't matter if it's a Ford or Toyota, it's a tire, right? The line we often talk about is, we service all makes and models. Well, this includes your database, increases your database for all makes and models. And the cool thing is, if you're selling Toyotas and you have a new Toyota Tundra pickup truck coming in, solicit all the other pickup trucks in your brand in your database. Go after the Fords, the Dodge Rams, the Silverados. Tell them the new Tundra's here. Right? Deep dive your database. Okay? Next one, do it digitally. For this one, you need to close your eyes. Close your eyes for a minute. Picture yourself in a car, 2017, 2016, 2015, and you turn on the car. And that information picture, that little mini TV that's by the side of the car, right? What comes on that screen when you turn on the car? That 15-second disclaimer that says you will drive the car properly and you won't read or text and you'll behave. And then you press agree and that goes away. Well, did you know that most brands allow you to program that 15-second disclaimer? You can put a picture of your dealership on it. You can put your website address. You can put your phone number. You can program that for that customer. You can program that for all customers. You can even program it and it stays on the car for the life of the car until someone else reprograms it. So think about this. You program the test page, the disclaimer, and the customer buys the car. They're down the road. 4 years later, they trade the car somewhere else, not you, and that new customer has your advertisement for 15 seconds every time they start the car. Pretty cool. It's a free digital ad for your store. It reminds them to come back to your store for service, even after they've left the car. You want to do it manually, analog, non-digitally? Well, look at this slide. This dealer has the same idea. It's a dealer in Kentucky. And what he does is he has a small sticker that says thank you on it with his name, address, phone number, and website address, and he puts it on the inside door of the gas cap door. So every time the customer opens the door for gas, they're going to see his thank you note. Thanks for coming to my dealership. Here's our phone number. Pretty cool, huh? Now again, if they trade the car down the road, that sticker probably will stay on the car. And other cool, which we can sort of tell you, if your dealer trade the car to another franchise dealer, they probably won't check the gas cap door. So they'll be selling another customer that will see your advertisement and may come in for service. Cool beans. Thank you for coming to our store. Okay, let's talk used cars for a while, pre-owned. And we're going to talk marketing for pre-owned. And the theme is, it's all how you look at it, right? It's all about the look. Well, if you look on this slide, you'll see the second most powerful merchandising tool for pre-owned car is that yellow label, that oval that says 2016 on the slide. Second most powerful merchandising tool you have. Why? Because you line up all your used cars on your lot, people driving by, 5,000 cars a day, 50,000 cars a day. Average customer doesn't realize that's a used car. It's clean, it's shiny. By putting the year on it, they know it's a used car. They know it's a pre-owned car. If it's certified, put the certified banner on the windshield as well. And most customers don't know the difference between a 12 or a 15 model year. So now they'll see, oh, it's a 12. It looks like it's in pretty good shape. I'm going to stop there and check it out. That might be more affordable than a 15. Second most powerful merchandising tool in your arsenal. So of course you're going to ask me, what's the most powerful tool? That's next. It's all how you look at it. The most powerful marketing merchandising tool is the condition of that used car. Every car has to be clean and maintained every day, every single day. Now, what's the big idea? Well, the big idea is this dealer in Florida and his person who cleans the cars, his lot person, his porter, his cleanup guy, his title is called Beauty Consultant. That's what it says on his business card, Beauty Consultant. His job every day is to look at every single used car, make sure it's clean, outside and inside. So if it was test driven the day before, there might be mud on the carpets, he's going to take care of it. He's also going to check to make sure it's got gas and make sure it starts and make sure their keys are there. Beauty Consultant. He has a woman that does it as well, and her title is Fashionista, right? Fashionista for your used cars. So let's talk about marketing used cars, and let's just talk about photos for a minute. Take a look at this slide. Again, the theme is it's all how you look at it, with the sublet of pictures worth 1,000 words or photos worth 1,000 words. If you look at that slide, which tire do you want to buy? Which car do you want to buy? The one on the right? Absolutely. I did a webinar in December for NADA just on the best practices of internet sales, and we talked about tire shots, and I said in that webinar, I'd almost buy that car just on that tire shot. It's a great shot. And in fact, the photographer for that dealership, it's a dealership in Akron, Ohio, is the lot guy, is the porter, the valet. But he's been told what shots to take, and he's great at it. Here's another example. Two pictures, same part of the car, the backup camera. Which picture has a better story? Right. This dealer, again, the same dealer in Akron, Ohio, puts a yellow banner for anything unique or special in their array of pictures. So there might be 20, 23 pictures in the slide. Something important like a backup camera, like navigation, like moonroof or sunroof, has a yellow banner that highlights that feature. But also look at those two different pictures. Picture on the right, you can tell it's a backup camera. A picture of something in back, it's got the yellow bars showing you the distance, and it's got an object there. Picture on the right, looks like somebody turned off a TV. Right? These pictures sell your cars. So let's talk about pictures for a minute, and let's talk about how many pictures. Right? The magic number is 23. Why 23? Well, there's a science to it. Too few pictures and you don't give enough vitals. Too many pictures and they're bored at the end. Right? So there's also an order to pictures. First picture is this shot. I'll take you back there. Right. So on the search page, when all these cars show up from your Google search or whatever search the customer is using, what shot is going to attract the attention of the customer? Right? This shot is your money shot. Angled, pretty. And this shot, which is a good practice, has the name of the dealership in the background. That's called framing. So we're framing the car in front of the store so the store gets a free advertisement. And by the way, if you're doing a Google search and there's different stores on that page, you'll see that this car, this truck, is your store. And that's what you want, right? Free advertisement. You want the search to pop out. You'll also see that this store, this car, this truck, has the yellow banner saying it's a 2016. That's the money shot. That's the first shot. And the way the searches work, you're going to pick this car, and then you're going to go to the vehicle display page, and you're going to see this page. The order you put them in matters. You want the exciting stuff up front so that each time the customer sees a picture, he's drawn to the next picture, and then the next picture, and then the next picture. Do you need 4 pictures of tires? You don't. You need 1 great picture. But remember, order matters. So let's go through a few. This best idea, this is a dealer in Pittsburgh. He has a 360 camera that he puts inside the used car. So the camera does a 360 around the inside of the car. And you can see on the bottom of the slide on the picture are the navigation panes. So you can point up, you can point down, you can point left and right, up, back, zoom in, zoom out. You can see the whole interior. And that's not only going to inform the customer, but that will attract the customer to your car versus the guy with 80 slides, 80 pictures, and it's not working. Okay? So, next best practice for marketing used cars, it's all how you look at it. Inspect what you expect. If you're in one of our 20 groups, a routine exercise we do is go onto your website and look at your used cars. Are they what you want? Are the photos there? Are the photos what the photos you want, the number you want, and the order you want? Inspect what you expect. Does your photo person, your lot person, your photographer, do they know what you want? So the first thing is the do. Do this photo. Do this angle. No flat shots, no dirty cars, right? Do this shot. I want this one, I want that one, I want one in order. And then you have a do not shot, right? Do not take a flat shot, flat tire shot. Do not take a flat body shot. Do not shoot any damage, dings, dirt, or dents. Give them samples. Show them the shots that I just showed you. That's the photo I want. Right? And then always tell them what order to post them up. So think about this. Do you have children? If you have children, how many photos do you need to get one good one? Or if you have 2 children and you want one good shot, you may end up taking 20 shots to get one good shot. Same with cars. You're going to need 60, 70 shots to get 20, 23 good shots, right? So it's something you can't take a shortcut. It's something you need a beauty consultant to do. Let's talk service. And the theme is keep them coming back, right? So first let's talk about service and the market for service. There's a rule we have at NADA called the 3 to 5 year SAR rule. SAR is sales at an annual rate, right? So at this slide, you'll see the black line is sales of new cars. And you can see the hit we took in 2008, 2009. It's pretty bad. But the gray line, the silver line, is the service business. And although the service business dipped during the Great Recession, it didn't dip as bad as new car sales. But also look in that line, you'll see that there's about a 3-year window behind new car sales. So the way it works is if you sell a car today, you'll have that service customer for another 3 years at least, on average. So what we want is we want to know how much business we're going to have. Last year we sold 17.6 million cars, record year for new cars. The year before we sold 17.5 million cars. We've had 4 great years, and our economist from NADA says we're going to have another 4 good years. Not banner years, but good years. So you should expect 7 to 8 years of good service work. So let's keep them coming back. And we know that if a customer does their service work at our store, they'll buy a car. 58% of the people that come back for service will buy a new car from you. So to that end, in order to do that, we need them to come back for service. And the key to that is making the first service appointment. All the brands preach that gospel. Keep them coming back, set the first service appointment, introduce them to your service department. So you see, look at the banners here. The top banner from J.D. Power shows the power of not doing a first appointment. The bottom banner shows we did just offer the first service appointment, and you can see the success. 90% of the customers will come back for service if you offer it. So we're going to offer it. So how do we offer that? The first bullet point you'll see on the slide is the introduction log. It's a rule to have the salesperson bring the customer back to the service department. Everyone requires it. Are your people doing it? Let's hope. Introduction log means that in the service department, there's a log where the salesperson and the customer sign in to say they met the service people. The second bullet point you'll see says service advisor script. We need to tell the service advisor what to say. I was doing some work in the Boston market, and we had that issue, that concern about meeting sales customers into the service department. And the service advisor said, no, I got it. I got this handled. We do a joke. Bob, our salesperson, brings the customer in, and I say, hey, welcome to the service department. It's a shame you got Bob because Bob's our worst salesperson. And everybody laughs. And I asked, do they really laugh every time? And the guy said, well, they don't laugh every time. So I said, so the guys that aren't laughing think that Bob is the worst salesperson. And dead quiet. So we need your service advisor to say what you want them to say. Welcome to our service department. Glad you have Bob as a salesperson. He's one of our best. Because we want them to endorse our salespeople and then tell them how to get service, how to get the appointment, and then ask them for their first service appointment. Schedule it 3 months, 5 months, 6 months out. And then a best practice is after you schedule it, when the salesperson does the follow-up call or your BDC does a follow-up call on the sales experience, remind them that they're coming back for service in 5 months, time and date. And then best practice is somebody calls them a week before the appointment to remind them again. You'll see on the bottom of the slide, we have a coupon from this dealer. When they set the appointment with the customer, they do it on a coupon rather than a little business card. And the coupon says $5 off your next visit. So this dealer gives an incentive to come in with an appointment. If you come in with an appointment, you're going to save $5. It works. It works. Now this dealer, this is a crazy idea. When you come in for an oil change, they want you to set the next appointment for your next oil change. And if you do, they will give you an oil filter. That's right. They give you the oil filter for your next oil change. So you take the oil filter home or you put it in your car for the next visit. And of course, oil filter has a sticker with the name and the phone number of the dealership. I always want to know, what do they do with the oil filter in between? Is it in the trunk rolling around or what? But it works. And then you go to the dealership and you see the people coming in with the service, with the oil filter, walking in with the oil filter. It works. Okay, let's talk about multi-point inspections. Again, we want the customer coming back. So all brands require a multi-point inspection. And a lot of stores have trouble getting their service advisors to do that. You need to work that out. You need to get the service advisors to review with the customer. You need technicians to do the multi-point inspection. And there's a lot of people that will help you with this event. You can have it digitally, where it's emailed to the customer or text to the customer in full living color. You can even get the backup. For instance, if you need brakes, then the customer gets a display of how brakes work, rotors, brake pads, calipers, and they'll see what they need. But it's got to be timely. So the best practice is the MPI is done within 15 minutes of the car going into the lift. And the service advisor gets it back from the technician and reviews it with the customer. Now, the other two bullet points on this slide talk about, first, both client and advisor sign the bottom of the multi-point inspection form. And that's important. It's important that they both sign it and that the customer acknowledges what needs to be done. Red, yellow. No, this is your tires. It's 4:30 seconds. You're going to need tires soon. Would you like us to do it now? And then the last bullet point there says the customer initials any declined work. So if they need brakes and they say no, then they initial where the brakes are, where it says red. So they know they're saying no. And that does two things. First, it gives them this incredible guilt that says, this is pretty serious because you need me to initial it. And secondly, it covers your, you know what, if down the road 6 weeks later the customer has an accident because of their brakes and they go to sue you, and wait, you got it right here. Hey, you signed off. You knew, and we told you, and you acknowledged that you needed brakes. So it works. This dealer has a yellow flag that says it's important, and he puts it on the MPI, the little yellow sticker, and then he puts it on the customer invoice as well, and the customer signs off saying it's a warning. Right? But if you look at the other bullet points on the slide, you'll see that the other dealer, the other new idea is that, you know, that little stick-on clingy thing that says you need your oil change in 3 months or 3,000 miles. This dealer has expanded it to brakes and tires. Right? So he has a red, yellow, green boxes by tires, oil, brakes, battery. And then they check off. So in that little left-hand corner, you can see what's going on in your store, what's going on in your car, and you can see, hey, I got to keep an eye on the brakes. Hey, I need to look at the battery. Right? It works. And of course, your advisors and your BDC will call any turn down work to make sure it comes back in. Okay, let's talk digital. Keep your customers coming back. Do we want customers to use our website? We do, right? So think about this. When was the last time you used the yellow pages? Month? Year? 10 years? Mine go right to recycling. I'm surprised I still get yellow pages, right? Customers use your website to look at information. They Google you and they see what's going on. So let's look at the next slide. This is from Cox Automotive. This talks about scheduling service through your website. Right? So 59% of all service is actually scheduled versus just walking or showing up. 45% said they didn't know they could schedule service online. And 76% said that if they did it, they would do it again. And then the very bottom of that slide, you'll see that the 59% of the people that scheduled service, almost 70% did it by phone, right? Phoning in for an appointment, unless you have a BDC, is not a good idea because you're getting a service advisor. And he's too busy to do it correctly. He's going to take it, write it down, and move on. If he takes it at all, probably goes to voicemail. You see 14% do it in person and 14% do it online. So 14% of 60% of the customers do it online. You need to get more online scheduling. So what we do in our 20 groups is we have you go on your smartphone and try to schedule service in your service department. So 3 things you need for a good service reservation online is first, easy access. Customer has to be able to get in easily, and remember, mobile's the key. Get in easily and be able to schedule service when they want, right? Because if it's Sunday night at 8 o'clock and they can't schedule service at your service department, they're going to go to third party, Midas, Jiffy Lube, Pep Boys, whoever, because they can do it online. Secondly, there has to be a recommendation for service, because you don't want to just schedule service. You want them to put in F-150, 45,000 miles, and then you want the online service to recommend what that truck at 45,000 miles needs for service, right? Just like your advisor would do, online services will do that for you. And then thirdly, we need an acknowledgement. Just like Amazon has taught us to auto-respond, we need an acknowledgement. And then a follow-up and reminder is icing on the cake. Okay? What does your service department landing page look like? That's the question. Are your service specials current? Are you using keywords for service, right? And you know that if you have a separate landing page for service and for parts, that raises you in the Google search. So that alone is making separate landing pages for service important, right? But let's talk keywords, right? We all do keywords for selling cars, but do you have keywords for service, right? Tires, brakes, recalls, check engine light, right? The way it works best for keywords is your brand and then the service. So Ford, check engine light. Toyota, battery, right? Don't even go to oil change, because the cost of a keyword for an oil change is more than the cost of the oil change. Everybody already has that. But go where customers are really looking for you online at Google. Keyword, your brand, and some repair. Chrysler transmission, right? Honda airbag, right? You'll draw a lot more customers that way. Check your specials on your landing page. Are they current? Or are you still doing Santa Claus sales? Best practice is at time of delivery, when they're picking up their new car, the salesperson shows them online how to schedule service, if you have online scheduling that works. Okay? Are you texting? 15 years ago, email is today's texting. 15 years ago, 10 years ago, you opened every email. Today, we look at the subject line, we delete, right? Well, today's texting, you answer almost every text, or at least you look at every text, right? So are you texting your customers? Again, you need the legal disclaimer that you have permission to do that. Okay? How about the social media side of service? Are you looking at the good news for service? Specials, it's snow tire season, it's spring tune-up season, whatever your specials are. That's the good news of social media. The challenge of social media are reviews. Is somebody in your store in charge of your reviews? Because with Google, if you're a Google dealer and they type in your Google keywords to pull you up, on that right side is your store, because you're a Google dealer, and the Google reviews. If you're not paying attention to the Google reviews, it's right in their face. So someone has to manage that. That's the key word, manage the reviews. Google, Yelp, DealerRater, anything out there. There's about 23 different raters, reviewers in the car business. Make sure you're key on that. And of course, like all things social, all things mobile, do you have an app? 2016, all website views were done mobile. It's not the future, it's the present. 50% of all mobile use is on apps. If your service department has an app, which it should, drive customers to your service app. It's a lot quicker. Okay? Last event, parts sales. We only have one for parts, but it's a pretty cool one. This dealer in Virginia has a vending machine for his shop supplies. So things techs use a lot, gloves, tape, brake cleaner, silicone. He has a vending machine stuffed with those things. So picture like a vending machine you see at like an airport with all the digital stuff, same size, except each tech has a separate code to type into the vending machine to get his supplies. Now, a couple things happen when you do a vending machine. First, techs being techs, when they go to the parts department for shop supplies, they don't just get the shop supply, they have to talk to the parts guy for 10 minutes. So fixes that problem. Everybody's more efficient. You might even be able to reduce a back counter parts guy. Secondly, the technicians are more efficient and more accountable because they know with that code, you're looking at their stuff. And the dealer in Virginia actually cut the cost of his shop supplies in half because now they're accountable, right? And that paid for the vending machine in 4 months. It works. Okay? So, one last one to go home. This is called the Work Release Porter Detail Staff. This dealer in Pennsylvania is pretty close to a minimum security prison. And he heard about the work release, so he decided to staff his cleanup detail department with prisoners. Prisoners? That's right. Every morning at 7 o'clock, the county prison van shows up. 6 prisoners get out with a guard, and on the back of their shirt it says blank county prison, right? And they go to work in the detail department. Now, they are motivated, right? Because if they're not cleaning cars, they're in the big house. So he has great motivation. If they mess up, they're back in the van, back in the big house, and it's cheap. The work release program is actually below minimum wage. It's paid on 1099, so there's no taxes and workman's comp and Medicare and Social Security, so it's more affordable. And the quality of people he gets are surprising. I'm not going to say he gets a lot of politicians, but he gets a lot of white-collar crime and engineers and that kind of stuff, so it's really working well for him. So that's one to go home. Thank you for your time. You'll see my email address and phone number on the slide. Feel free to contact me with any of these questions. Thanks.